Oh, so is that why in
Yeah,
movies?
they do so you can quickly see which one, and then that hits it, so you got the sound and everything.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I never knew that. 3,
Cool.
2, 1, and action.
All right, guys, welcome to this LVL update. Sort of like a podcast, but not really. Last week we actually recorded this podcast that we sort of promised the world would never see. So, I actually wigged myself out. I was the one wigging out, thinking, "Oh, we got to do this podcast. It's like this big thing, and there's millions of these people, and these high expectations about it." And so now, just like our Instagram and the way we do everything else, we're just going to do sort of our own thing.
Bit more informal, bit more chilled out. Dom wanted to hire a full-on cast and set and have a fucking
Those
crew.
people with the microphones.
Yeah, literally some guy was like stuffing that in my face. I was having to like fend him off. And I was like, no, I've got to pull the pin on this idea, Dom. I don't know about spending 500 grand on one video. So here we are, just in the office. We're filming on an iPhone.
Yeah, and it's intimate. Maddie may unbutton the shirt a little bit more as it goes on. No promises, but
The louder you scream, the more I take off.
Yeah. So hit subscribe, like, and
And I'll be nude. Joke, sorry.
So we want to do sort of an update of what we're focusing on during the week. So we want to do this about once a week, and it can be in business, outside business. Personally, at least my life, and I know I can speak for Maddie as well, like the business and life sort of interweaves. So there's always sort of shit going on, and it all it's kind of dynamic, and there's always exciting stuff to talk about. So I've actually got a question for you. What's something that you feel you've been focusing or you've learned about yourself in the past week?
Ooh, good question. What have I learnt about myself?
Oh, that makes the camera wobble.
Oh, sorry. What have I learnt about myself in the past week? So in the past week, I've learnt that we didn't start the timer. So maybe we're just going to lean over and hit start on that quickly. And then,
Growing.
So in the last week, I've learned something that I've learnt about myself. That's a really tough question because I feel like that there's so much that happens that I don't actually reflect back that often and think about specifically what I've learnt. I learnt that walking from Coogee to Bondi and back, it's extremely up and down, and you end up with sore hips and ass after walking it, because Zoe and I just got back from a little quick holiday. You know what I learnt? Actually, I learnt that I need to take more micro holidays, way more little holidays, like, you know, not overly planned with like some crazy itinerary where you have to be here, be there. Just get on the plane, go, land, figure it out when you get there. So on the way to the airport, my accommodation wasn't booked. I accidentally forgot to book the accommodation. I was late to the airport and I lost Zoe's boarding pass. I literally thought this was going to be the worst holiday of all time. And we rocked up and I had the best, most relaxing time ever. Napped every day.
Really?
Yeah, man. Felt awesome. And you're separated from Melbourne, so you feel like that you're out of that groove.
Yeah.
But like in a good way.
Out of the doghouse and into the dog plane.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. And like, just stayed in a place that we wouldn't normally stay in, but it was awesome. I loved it. So it made me realize time off, you know. So I need more forced time off.
It's weird. It's kind of like how you can structure these moments for spontaneity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like I think that Zoe really enjoyed it as well. And I mean, for people that aren't in relationships, I remember when I was single. And I would give myself little holidays and little time away. I'd organise to meet someone there, or sometimes I'd actually just go away by myself, you know, and really enjoy it as well. But when you get into the groove of work, you forget how important that shit is.
Oh, 100%.
So.
And also, if you don't book in advance, it's never happening.
Nah, it's never happening. So now I've literally got 100 holidays booked.
Yeah.
Between now and next week.
I've got 0.
Yeah, you need to get on that, man.
Yeah. Why are we going next?
Well, I was thinking about going to Port Douglas. I thought that'd be really cool. And then we're going to go...
Oh, yeah, to...
Cable Beach, Broome, and...
Catherine.
No, Kimberley's.
Kimberley.
Yeah, Kimberley, Catherine.
Yeah, the K sisters.
Yeah, no, there's a gorge called the Catherine Gorge.
Yeah, I've been there.
Have you?
It's awesome, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the one where in Aboriginal, like the Dreamtime culture, how there was that serpent, rainbow serpent carved in the world and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of it was derived, because you go through Catherine Gorge and it's this like geometric sort of snake. Yeah, it's so
Crazy.
cool.
So there you go, more holidays.
Yeah. Good
What
shit.
about you?
So I had while Matt and Zoe were out in Sydney, I had a super quiet weekend just at home. I was literally in bed 9:30 on Friday night and Saturday night as well. And I actually got up at midnight and was about to chuck the suit on and head out.
The suit, bullshit.
Yeah, no, not the suit, just
The
literally
jeans and a
t-shirt
t-shirt.
jean shorts.
Trackies. Denim shorts cut real short. And put on some slutty heels.
With a headband.
A bit of lipstick and you're heading out on the
And I think it's because I had so much time like at home to myself that I thought, fuck, I need to get out. And I thought, just relax, and actually you'll be happy tomorrow morning and come Monday as well after a relaxing week. And I feel like it hits that peak, and if I can get past the hill, then I start reaping the benefits. And so my what I've been focusing on learning about myself is, what we were speaking about before, is putting deliberate time into reading and still always learning. So I've been kind of just like learning on the go and say reading at night time when it's comfortable, but I haven't been treating it or giving it the, not the attention, but sort of the weight it deserves. Like if I deliberately structure in an hour and a half of reading or listening to, whether it's podcasts, videos, even courses, an hour and a half every day. Well, the courses that I've been loving recently is this guy called John DeMartini, and he's a full-blown weapon. The guy's read over 33,000 books. And so I'm sitting here trying to fucking get through one book a month. And I think, well, if I can do a course, I can just absorb all the good stuff that he's gleaned from it. And then after watching that Tony Robbins documentary, I'd love to do that one later in the year. If you're keen to do that one time as well.
Actually, I got messages from Dom at 11 o'clock at night, had G'd up.
Yeah. I was karate chopping the fucking table in half.
Yeah.
And
cricket.
And
Hey, tumbleweed.
Don't worry, I got heaps more jokes coming.
Oh my god.
So anyway, but also reading. I love reading about like ancient Egyptian shit, old Roman architecture, and stuff about ancient Rome. I just love all that sort of stuff. And with business and then social life and then catching up with family and then just day-to-day stuff that pops up that I don't plan, it's so easy for that to just slide, and then it will go 2 or 3 months and I've barely done any of it. So I've learned that when I deliberately schedule that sort of stuff in, I feel better and happier as well, because I'm like exercising and activating shit that I'm really, really passionate about, and that bleeds out into every other area. So that's something I've learned and something I want to take in.
So actually something that I was reflecting on while you were talking as well, from a business perspective that I've learned, is actually reinvesting back into the culture. So last Friday, was it Thursday or Friday that everyone was in here? Thursday, everyone was in here besides Dean, because Dean's actually just had a baby. Well, his partner, Ellis, just had a baby. So congratulations to you too. I'm not sure, have they broken it to the world yet? It's on Instagram.
Yeah, otherwise this will do the trick.
Yeah, so everyone knows now. But yeah, they've just had a baby boy. But everyone besides Dean was here, and it made me realise when everyone was around talking to each other, chatting, and the energy that was in the room, everyone walked away from it feeling good. So then we thought, actually, Lockie, who works for us, who's a part of the team, his family was involved in starting Bounce, and he got some tickets for Bounce. He got like a few tickets for it. So we thought, why don't we take the whole team there, team dodgeball competition, then on Friday, on the same day, go out for dinner afterwards. And the second that I mentioned that to everyone in the team, everyone was so excited about it. They're all amped up. And it's like, it seems lame, like going to Bounce and jumping around on a trampoline and throwing balls at each other. But actually when you're there and you're competing with each other and you're playing games and you're all involved, it actually is awesome fun and it pays off. And it made me realise that last year during COVID, we invested a lot of time back into the team. Look, we can say it now. We were having the team over to our house.
Yeah, all the time.
Flat
out breakfast everywhere, because it's important.
Full on spreads, breakfast, everything, because everyone missed being together. So arrest me. But during that, we really invested in the team and it paid off. and it brought everyone so close together. And I think that this year, everyone getting back into the groove of things and getting back into the hustle and bustle, they're forgetting to invest in the things that they did last year, which got them through one of the hardest times.
You know, it's so funny. Those are the sorts of things, like in terms of talking about stuff that could sound like not lame. Bounce is awesome, but you know, it's not the activities you'd always go do. But some of the best memories is when you're with your family and you're just staying up and then you come up with dumb games.
Dude, so
and,
funny.
You know, and then by the end, everyone's laughing, but you'd never go, hey, let's sit around and do nothing and then see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes the things at the time, which like, I can't remember, someone was telling me a story on the weekend about a horror holiday that they had, but now they reflect on it. It's one of the funniest things ever. Yeah, yeah. And it's like this big gag. It's like the time that I had this babysitter. My parents went to New York and we had this babysitter, me and my brother and my sister. My parents went overseas to visit one of my sisters in Canada, and my other brother, Damien, was living interstate. So it was me, Will, and Sarah who were at home at the time. And we had this babysitter come. Anyway, babysitter from hell, man. Biggest psychopath ever. Like, full set up booby traps for it. Anyway, within 2 days, she had like quit her job and moved elsewhere. And so...
Oh, stole money as well.
Oh yeah, stole like all this
10
money.
grand.
Yeah, crashed mum and dad's car, like took all their alcohol. Turned out she was like some crazy drug addict. Don't know where mum and dad found her, but at the time we thought she was like literally the devil woman. And she probably thought the same about us kids. Matter of fact, she was probably normal until she met us. But anyway, but the family still, like at the time, it was the biggest disaster ever. Mum and dad like had to cut their holiday short. But now it's the biggest gag ever. You know,
and you can run that story every time and
it gets everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, sometimes things that you don't want to do or things that seem really bad at the time.
Did
they
you
end
have
up...
like a full Home Alone trap?
Yeah. So we'll save that for another one. I still have a full booby trap for it.
And speaking of stories that that at the time may not seem like the best thing ever, this one time Maddie and I went to Vietnam and we full got kidnapped. And this is the craziest part about this story is this was the second time Maddie's been kidnapped.
Overseas.
Overseas.
In Asia.
They should literally make a documentary about you, bro. But they, anyway, after they paid the ransom, like some guy luckily came and saved us. We had one Vietnamese number we called and this guy paid our ransom. We got out. And at the time it was pretty off tilt, but now
it's a great story. Yeah. So they're the two things that I've learned. Actually, saying that's also really funny is if you guys go back and watch our last podcast and try not to cringe, you'll get
you'll
a
lose
standing
that
ovation.
It definitely takes us into that thing of how the way at least my brain or our brains are wired for what deems something valuable. You know, like these days it's like, is getting everyone in and taking hours off work and just sitting back and having a chat, like instantly I think most people would see that as a waste of time. Or like getting people in, doing something where you don't know what the ROI on it is, but if the team's connecting, like it does pay dividends in the long term. Or over-investing heaps of money into just really fun experiences and not seeing how that's going to win more work or anything, but just doing it just to create more good shit.
Yeah. But if people have a better place to come, like if everyone's excited to come to work every day, people pick up on that and then they want to use that company. Do you know what I mean? Because, man, perfect example. I remember one time I got Jim's Mowing to do a garden. I rented this house when I was like 20 and I got Jim's Mowing to do the gardening. And this guy who obviously didn't want to work for them was raking the garden with one hand, like one-handed rake, and like blowing all the leaves into my pool because I rented this house with a pool. And he cut all the garden and then was just blowing it all into the pool. I just went out. I just took his rake off him, took his bag, took his leaf blower. I said, go home. And I did everything myself and then called his boss and said, come pick it up. Yeah, dude, it was full-on disaster, this whole thing. But I remember just thinking, this guy doesn't even want to be here. His boss treats him like shit. And it's reflecting on how he works.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that that's where investing back into the culture, people from the outside see it looking in. You know?
You take more pride in it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, absolutely. Can you swear on...
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, totally. Even on Australian radio, you can swear. Like in America, I was listening to like something in some podcast, or whatever, and someone's like, "Oh, can I curse?" I was thinking, "What?"
Yeah. Joe Rogan's flat out on the sweary bums.
Yeah. So we're probably at 10 minutes, I reckon. Yeah, that's it. Is there anything else on your mind?
No, that's about it. I'm glad that we got that out. We want to keep it sort of high energy, low like try to keep the time as short as possible, because I've watched podcasts that go for 35 minutes plus, like sometimes an hour. It's really hard, to watch. But when we do bring other people into the chat, because it's obviously not a podcast, we've gone on that. But when we bring other people into the chat, like other team members, and sometimes it might be fun to get a client on. Like we've got some really cool clients at the moment that I'd love to get on here so everyone can meet. It might go for a little bit longer, but Dom and I are just chatting and updating and whatever. We'll try to keep it between 10 and 15 minutes.
Yeah, just bring you along for the ride. And if you have any questions that you want to throw at us, or for us to explore, any ideas as well, because this is really just a totally open forum. I mean, half the time maybe it's just us thinking of funny stories to tell, or other shit, whatever we come up with on the spot, really. So it's totally something that's malleable. But yeah, that's it.
Oops, there I am.
Oh yeah, here you go. Whoa, pick a new.
Where did I go?
Hey!
All right, awesome.
Cool, good shit.
Thanks, guys.
I will.
Did you feel better about that one?
Yeah, way better.
Don't zoom in on my head.
It's a gag every time. Yeah, I did feel better about that one.